everybody, and welcome to New York City, the Big Apple, baby, for this Major League Rugby matchup between the Austin Elite and the hometown team, Rugby United New York. Both teams in desperate need of a win for different reasons. Coney Island's beautiful beach and boardwalk as our backdrop. It's professional rugby, Major League Rugby style in New York City.
Hi, I'm Matt McCarthy with Steve Lewis, two-time USA Rugby Coach of the Year. Steve, and behind us, the New York Rugby Club and Brooklyn Rugby Club are playing, but we're here for the Major League Rugby match.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, both teams desperate for victory today, but for very different reasons. For host Rugby United New York, they need to win, and win in style. Bonus points critical as they chase a playoff place. For Austin, a win, any win will do in what's been a long and difficult season.
That's right, and they have to play for their professional livelihoods on both sides of the ball, but particularly in Austin. But we have a big component of the match. Will Leonard, one of the centers for Rugby United New York, and Kim Ost-Howlett is with Will now.
Thanks, boys. Yes, I'm here with Will Leonard, one of Rugby United's stars of the season. So welcome, Will. Tell us, last week was a game of really two halves. How has that impacted you for this week's game?
Yeah, it has impacted massively. Obviously last week it wasn't an ideal start against Seattle. There was a lot of defensive errors, and we were looking at them heavily during the week to see if we can improve on them. And especially looking this week ahead of us, and we know they don't have the best record, but they're a huge physical team, and we can't be making those mistakes we made last week, especially coming to the close of the season. There's only 3 games left now, and we're really pushing for playoffs, and we really want to make it, so we can't let those errors come in this game. But yeah, we're just looking forward to the game.
Thanks so much. Back to you guys.
Steve, you heard Kim and Will. There is pressure.
Yes, indeed. These are the updated standings after yesterday's 3 Major League Rugby encounters, and they show San Diego Legion out in front. For the host today, Rugby United New York, they're in 5th place on the outside looking in, but a win today changes all that. For Austin, the record says it all. It's been a tough year.
That's right, and all roads to the playoffs are, of course, paved in points.
That's right, 4 points for a win, but at this stage in the year with this playoff race so tight, you need the extra bonus points. So for New York today, it needs to be a win, and a win with 4 or more tries.
And when the dust settles and the math is done, all those points add up to Major League Rugby's championship, Sunday, June 16th at 4 p.m. Who will hoist the shield this year? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
As well.
Don't mouth it just right. Don't mouth it just right. Today's Major League Rugby match is Today's Major League Rugby match is brought to you by Magners, the official hard cider of New York's professional rugby franchise, and by Motion PT Group. Get back to what moves you. Visit motionptg.com to find a physical therapy location near you. Also brought to you by Vaughnmore Irish Beef Jerky and Biltong, the official snack of Rugby United New York athletes. Hey everybody, welcome back. Steve, today's starting lineup for Rugby United New York is brought to you by the Hospital for Special Surgery, and there are some key components that are missing and some key components that are added, specifically position changes as well. You've got Dylan Fawcett, who's normally one of the best hookers in the league. He's moving to number 8 where he is adept. You've got Harry Bennett stepping in for the injured Cahal Marsh at number 10, and there's a lot of movement around. You can see that Sean McNulty is replacing Dylan. It's his first start with New York, and Matt Houston goes to flank. John Quill will be steadying them at number 6. And then you've also got the Austin Elite lineup brought to you by Eden Park.
Yes, Matt, today's Austin Elite team shows the global reach of Major League Rugby, with no less than 7 different nationalities represented. Up front, they have an All-American front row of White, Malcolm and Peterson, looking to take on New York City where it counts. And behind the scrum, some late changes just pre-kickoff. See veteran Andrew Suniula coming in at standoff, with the Lindenwood legend JP Aguirre moving to center for the unavailable Villaseca. Japanese prop Takizawa also comes onto the bench for the first time for Hansen.
That's right, and we've got keys to the game, Steve, and the keys to the game are brought to you by MVP Index. For New York, the keys are health. You know, the team's got to be healthy. They've got 5 guys that could be out of the starting lineup right now that could be in there. You've also got another key is the tight 5 as the engine room goes. And
yeah, so that was a quick shot there of Luke Rogan, who's the referee today. He actually lives in New York now, but via Australia. Assistant referees Mo Chowdhury and Amelia Luciano.
All right, and getting us underway is Rodrigo Silva. As we await the start. A beautiful sunny day here in Coney Island. It's beach rugby for almost, Steve. And there's the whistle, and we are underway. Rugby United New York, desperately in need of bonus points. Austin Elite, desperately in need of a win. And right up the gut goes Matt Houston with a nice big run. Right into contact. There's Mike Petrie, 3-time World Cup champion, player Mike Petrie, I beg your pardon. Luke Hume gets it out. We talked about the Irish centers being involved. Right there is Mark O'Keefe, number 13, and he takes it to the ground. Petrie digs it out. Staunch defense by the Elite so far.
Way one.
Referee barking orders. Petrie calling in some more support to get him a little bit of room for a kick. Puts it up in the air. Steve, we talked about it. The kick is only as good as the chase, and that's a good chase there by New York. Austin scrambling a little bit. Now they're trying for phases. They've got some large men in that tight 5 for Austin. We met them down on the field, and they are a big pack. Could be a factor wearing down the defense of RUNY as we go. Silva Gets Ben Mitchell, the Irishman. Long lad. And there is a little squib kick that Luke Hume is going to corral. Behind his 22. Chooses to kick it in front. And a little bit of aerial ping pong.
Yeah, some fairly actually unimpressive opening exchanges. Neither side really showing any penetration. A couple of loose kicks. What we have though is a penalty. New York not rolling away, and referee Luke Rogan, first decision of the game, is a penalty to Austin just inside their half on the left-hand side.
Yeah, here's your replay. That's number 15, the captain, Ilan Puddock, taking it into contact.
So Austin have punched the ball down on the left-hand side, trying to gain some space with an attacking line out. Not perhaps the furthest of kicks there, but it's there put in. Attacking lineouts, you control two things. You control where the ball goes, and you control the timing. That's the advantage.
Right. Here's the Eagle number 505, Peter Malcolm, throwing the ball in, and taken by Ben Mitchell. Smashing run forward by the Elite. New York up on defense. Basically just got one man back.
Didn't survive the clean out.
And Steve, the keys to the game for Austin brought to you by MVP Index.
Yes, indeed. Professional pride. That's what they're playing for. With a record of 0-13, they need to get a win. They're playing both for pride and actually for livelihood. Second key, attack the RUNY set piece. Attack them at source, scrum and line out. And the third is weather the initial storm. They know New York will be coming after them, looking for that bonus point. They've just got to weather the storm and hold on. First 10, 15 minutes.
All right, and speaking of weathering the storm, New York just weathered that one, earned a penalty, and there's the kick into touch. And back to the New York's keys, brought to you by the Hospital of Special Surgery Health. 5 guys that could be in the starting lineup are out. The pack needs to get back to where they were. They were dominant in the early part of the season. They need to do that again. At the training on Thursday, Dylan Fawcett and Nate Brakely addressed the troops passionately, and Harry Bennett at number 10. He has to have a better match than he did the last time these two teams met and incorporate his Irish centers. There's the line out. Petrie out to Bennett. There's a bit of a move forward by Will Leonard. There's Brakely. And they're trying to get something that phases together, Steve, because they need to penetrate this elite defense early and put them on their heels. They need the bonus point win. There's Petrie fighting her off, get the pass off to Parry. A lot of new faces in the Elite lineup, so maybe a little continuity issue for them. In the meantime, the ball trickles into touch.
Yeah, just chip over the top. Petrie's obviously saw some space in behind the Austin defense. He went for it. Decent kick. Line out to Austin, though, just on their 22.
Yeah, so the kicks and the handling of the ball won't be a factor. We've got a beautiful sunny day, 67 degrees. Light breeze off the ocean. And the roller coaster is making a little bit of noise that might not, or that will not, impact calls. Here's number 8. Zwart taking it forward. He's a large man.
Take him back.
And Steve, the kicking game for the Elite might be a thing that they can exploit in terms of Rugby United New York. There's Mike St. Clair.
Yeah, well, that was a situation whereby they passed the ball back into the 22, which means you can't clear directly to touch. They have to keep it in play. They did that. New York have countered really, really well. Bennett with a switch with Wallace Sims. It's just bounced a little unluckily for him, but he could still regather, and he does.
Yeah, that was a nice play, an athletic move by Connor Wallace Sims, but it's going to be a knock-on and awarded scrum down to the Elite. And this is an area where New York at training was talking about how they can dominate or impart their will.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you saw it as one of the keys to the game. A couple of changes in the front row, however. Paddy Ryan out. Rochford moves to tight head. Here it is again. Connor Wallace Sims, a nice little chip over the top on that educated left boot of his. Unfortunately, doesn't quite bounce for him. Comes inside and adjudged to knock forward, leading to the scrum.
All right, here is our scrum down. Great shot.
5.
As Silva puts it in. Rodrigo Silva Paisano, Steve.
Now Uruguayan, I believe.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, he is.
Played quite a bit of fullback, a little bit of scrum half as well. He's on the number 9 jersey today for Austin.
18 caps for Uruguay.
Los Terros, as they are known. Improving side at national level.
And we've seen him bounce around at 10, 9, fullback. He's a versatile player, and he's not afraid to take it into contact either. We'll have it again.
So as we were saying, first scrum, Rochford, who's played a lot of rugby this year, moving to the tight head side. Anthony Parry coming into loose head. McNulty at hooker. But interestingly enough, you saw that first line out. Dylan Fawcett is still in charge of throwing in. He's still doing throwing in responsibilities.
And we've got our Rugby for Rookies, Steve, brought to you by the Hospital for Special Surgery. Remember, it's 15 active players per game, 8 reserves, offense and defense. You play both, 5 ways to score, no forward passing, and continuous play.
Set.
And there's our whistle. A little pushing and shoving. Part of the front row guys, that's just like handbags at dawn, as you like to say, Steve.
Yes, indeed. Looks like Rochford got a little ascendancy in his opposite number there. New York have elected, however, to take the scrum again, as you would if you're confident that you're going to dominate.
Yeah, and to that point, Rochford is playing tight head where he normally plays loose head because Paddy Ryan is out. And here's the 5 ways to score, folks. You get 5 points for a try, 2 points for converting the try. A penalty kick is worth 3. You can drop kick it for 3 points if you're that good. And a penalty try is an automatically converted try for 7 points.
Set.
There's a nice drive. Nobody really gaining any advantage. Dylan Fawcett takes the pick off the back of the scrum. The Butcher goes to ground. Quickly in is Mike Petrie. Here's McDonald. Two-time collegiate All-American from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Anthony Parry plays scrum half. Here's Brakely getting it back to McNulty. Sean McNulty inching forward. RUNY pressing. Here comes John Quill, the Eagle, crawling forward. His mom's from Staten Island, so he's somewhat local. And there's a big pass on the outside. Connor Wallace-Sims inching toward the try line. Just shy so far. Is he still in play? And it's going to be a penalty, Steve, earned for the charging RUNY side.
Yes, indeed. They had about 4 or 5 pick and goes there, or short passes looking to attack short. The backs were lined up sort of vertically behind. They went left. Wallace-Sims not quite getting over the line. Penalty awarded though. Petrie puts it into touch, and we have an attacking line out, one of New York's best weapons season long. Let's see if they can convert.
And you see the referee talking to Ben Mitchell, who was not slated to start today, and now he is slated, and I believe he has resumed the role of captain, although we'll have to check that. We have Ilan Puttick as our captain right now. But here's a big play. You know, Rugby United New York doesn't go for those easy points. They always go for the corner kick. And they get this one.
Sack is good.
And the line out.
Use it. No, use it.
It's like Matt Houston off the base of the scrum. He's looking for a crack in the defense. Takes it to the ground. Supported by Rochford. Dylan Fawcett, no stranger to the try line when he gets down in this area. There's McDonald. RUNY applying pressure early. Rochford thinking of having a go. He does. Just meters away. And they've got the man on the outside, and it is not put in just yet. They are getting ever so close. McDonald. Repeat phases, and a spin, and just shy again.
Yeah, pretty good defensive set here from Austin, but will the pressure tell?
Referee warning both sides. Parry. Here's Rochford. And he dives for the try line. Just short. Smashing forward again.
I think Austin dodged a bullet there, looked offside, but referee led him away with it. New York still in possession. We're up to 9-10 phases. The ball is spun wide now. Wallace Sims out to Hume. This looks on.
You're not going to get Luke Hume there. The bald eagle puts it in. Luke Hume puts Rugby United New York on top with the first try of the match, Steve.
Well, that was it. They were exerting such pressure in a narrow front. You had to suck in Austin Elite defenders again and again. And when they did finally spin the ball wide to the right, Luke Hume was there.
Lovely spun wide, and there's Hume. He's got the wheels and the wisdom to touch it down past the whitewash. Great try for RUNY. Patience and perseverance and spinning it wide.
Yeah, that's a good reward for their early ascendancy. There we go, back to Luke Hume there. 20 caps for the USA Eagles. Also capped for sevens. He's a talented guy, can beat opponents in a phone box actually. But whether he goes the full 80 minutes will be the test for him today. But a great start for the veteran.
Indeed, and the kicking responsibilities will fall upon
Harry Bennett.
Harry Bennett, the Australian. And the kick is up, and it is no good. So it's 5-0. New York on top of the Austin Elite. And we're going to see that try again, Stephen.
Yeah, here we go again. Close to the try line. Petrie spins it wide through the hands. Bennett to Wallace Sims to Hume. Just an angled run for the corner, and he was always scoring that one.
Well done by Connor Wallace Sims, the wing, to get right in the mix there. And it's, you know, it's a turf field, so it's a little bit warmer down there than it is in the stands. So the players are, you know, huffing and puffing, but they've been working hard both sides so far. Off the restart, New York controlling.
Yeah, it's a good restart from Silva. That's twice they've done that. They've gone short, tried to make it contestable, and nearly got away with it. But New York ball.
Stay there.
Petrie shaping to kick.
And Steve, that's that elephant line.
Elephant line?
Yeah, you like that off the back of the scrum, right? That's one of your favorite terms or something along those lines. Anyway, in the mind, here's Larome White barreling forward. Austin trying to get something back here. Silva digs it out. Andrew Suniula, a surprise starter. He's the team manager, ladies and gentlemen, number 12. Or actually, was he playing 10 or 12? It was a late scratch.
Not held, tie on.
There's a good feisty run by the Austin Elite. Not going to turf, but it might be a choke tackle, and ball's got to be down.
No.
Runners needed, not touch. I was surprised the whistle wasn't blown there.
Yeah, he let that one go a little long. Looked like it's pretty successful choke tackle for New York, and they should have had a scrum. But they have the ball.
There's Petrie going short side. The Elite standing firm in defense. Another big hit. Here's Fawcett. Will Leonard, Mike Sinclair over him. And a whistle and a penalty earned by Rugby United New York.
Yeah, once again, you've got to give credit to Austin's defense here.
You've got to roll.
That was a good read, certainly from the center there. I think we're going to see another look at it. Here was the choke tackle. We thought that should have been a scrum New York. Ball pops out.
It was Mason Peterson flying in there, number 3
Look like you're trying to get out there.
for the Elite.
Try and move.
Some explanations from referee to Simon Bienvenu.
Simon, welcome.
That's
that
right.
translates as.
The referee was saying hello, Simon. All right, here's a line out. Dylan Fawcett playing number 8, but resuming his responsibilities, throwing the ball in.
Yeah, good take from New York there. Good run here. It's Leonard punching up the middle.
New York looking to pad their lead. Put this game away. They need the points. In the meantime, there's an injury that we will keep you abreast of as soon as we find out more. There's Luke Hume dancing his way. Always exciting, Luke Hume. Little pop pass. Mike Sinclair on the outside. He is going to go in for the try. Great try and a great passing combination. Luke Hume getting the ball started. Mike Sinclair finishing.
Yep, as we mentioned before, Hume can beat a couple of guys. He did that there, maybe 5, 6, 7 yards. Ball was spun out to the right, and Mike Sinclair is a pretty physical customer for a winger. Well built, strong, used his power to finish that one off.
That's right. He's like a, here it is. Here's Luke Hume. Gets the ball off. Dylan Fawcett with a little loop pass.
Yeah, it's a smart pass from Fawcett. Finds Mike Sinclair. He's still got work to do there. He's still got to go past, it was only one man actually, but past him he went. Touchdown New York. Good score.
All right, we've got a substitution. Looks like number 23. Is in for, check that again. There's the kick from Bennett, and it sails wide.
Yeah, Harry Bennett's normally a pretty reliable place kicker. We're just switching a quick picture of Mark O'Keefe. Looks like he's come off injured. I'm not sure what's going on there. Doesn't look too happy with the situation.
That might have been maybe a head knock because he was not happy with the assessment. In the meantime, it doesn't matter. He is on the bench, and it looks like we've got Marcus Satava in for him. We'll check that in a second. In the meantime, there's the restart. Anthony Parry bursting forward. New York on top, 10-0. Here at MCU Park, the home of the Brooklyn Cyclones and Rugby United New York, in a big match where New York needs a lot of points, and they are on their way. Here's Will Leonard. He's got Connor Wallace-Sims. Connor Wallace-Sims darting, taking to the ground. Here's Luke Hume coming in at scrum half. John Quill banging forward. Petrie digs it out. Oh, and a big hit from Peterson. Springs the ball loose. Here's Mitchell rambling forward. The Irishman off his back, passes it into a teammate's hands. Silva. It goes backwards.
No advantage. Cross forward.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Marcus Satavu coming in on the wing there for O'Keefe. We'll see what the adjustment is. Looks like Wallace-Sims perhaps moving to center, or Mike Sinclair perhaps moving to center. The latter, from the way they're shaping up at the scrum.
It's amazing how in the last 15 minutes both lineups have changed significantly. All right, and here we go. Another set piece. This time, the scrum down is for Austin. Referee Rogan calling cadence. And there's a whistle.
Yeah, so here we are at scrum time. This might be an appropriate moment to send our congratulations to Rugby United prop Kirk Hamilton and his lovely bride Braille. I think that got the name right there. Who got married recently. Congratulations from everyone at Rugby United New York.
Indeed, good man and a good rugby player. We've got a nice little crowd forming here today. It's a beautiful day for rugby. It's a beautiful day for anything, really. But hey, we've got rugby and a day at the beach.
You got your bikini packed?
I do, Steve. I'm wearing it now.
Sort it out.
You want to guess which team?
I'm not going to keep reminding.
I think we'll leave that one alone. Let's get back to the action. Another scrum. Referee Rogan starting to lose a little bit of patience.
Yeah, you know, with all these lineup changes, the one consistent aspect has been the front row for Austin. So you'd think that they'd have a little bit of continuity going on there, but it seems to be disrupted by New York. And they go down again.
Yeah, once again, penalty on that side, right? Which means Rochford over White seems to be what's going on. Lerone White under pressure a little bit, a couple of scrums. New York have been given the verdict, and Bennett now looks to push the ball downfield, go back to that attacking line-out, potentially a line-out maul.
Yeah, and again, the choice is not to go for posts, not even a consideration. It's pretty much the RUNY way, if you will.
Well, it's it's an estimation. It's an estimation that coaches make.
And Steve, on that note, we will be right back after this quick break. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Steve, what have you liked so far? What haven't you liked so far?
Well, I think New York, have a dominated possession, certainly dominated territory. They finished off 2 scores on the right-hand side. Austin, to give them credit, have defended well. A little narrowly, perhaps, but they've defended well. As I was saying before the break, one of the big decisions coaches and captains on the field make is what to do at the penalty, and whether to push it for a line-out or take a kickable 3 points. New York tend to go for the line-out because they trust their line-out. Here's Dylan Fawcett throwing it in. It's been a weapon for them in the past, so why would they go for it again?
Indeed. Here is the throw in on the line out. Going up, taking it cleanly is Brakely. Fawcett off the back of the maul.
6 around. No, you're not.
Still driving, New York. This is what they did so well in the beginning stages of the season, and they were looking to get back to doing, Steve.
Yes, indeed, they're still inching forward. Balls come out now. Petrie to Bennett. Bennett to St. Clair in the middle. He's met well by Austin.
It was Brakely. Brakely always in pursuit, always engine running. Fawcett trying to dig it out there. Anybody can smell a try. It's the Butcher. There's a little pop kick by Bennett into the open. Oh, just a hop a little bit high. But they still have the ball, and Bennett's got it again. Driven back nicely on a great tackle by the Elite defense.
Turnover's good.
And it's a turnover. Well done by Austin. With the kick to nowhere. Flops in the air, nobody takes it yet. And it's going to be a knock-on.
It's just a loss forward, guys. They stopped and moved back, it's just a loss forward.
So Steve, Austin makes a great play defensively. They turn it over, and then they do that and give the ball right back.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly effective kick. It either needs to be high or long, preferably both. That was really neither. Just going back to Bennett's kick prior to that, it was a really well-weighted kick. Just eluded both Hume and Leonard. 9 times out of 10, one of them would have picked that off for a score. Nice touch from Bennett.
Yeah, and we're looking at the flags blowing in the center field area, and it's blowing pretty steadily, so the wind might be a factor down on the pitch. It's a little bit different where we are, and it can change anywhere on the pitch at any given moment. So it looked like that kick was held up a little bit in the air as well. RUNY's used to playing here, so they might have that advantage.
Another scrum here, another, it's psychologically important as well as a source of possession. Actually, Austin performed a little better than that one, but New York got the ball out. St. Clair with the ball again, and Bennett distributing wide to Hume. Hume to Sadavu, first touch for Sadavu, takes it in, back to Hume.
Backwards.
Called backwards, so it's still in play for RUNY.
Pretty sloppy stuff here, but New York still have the ball. Bennett once again spins it wide. His distribution has been good. To Fawcett up the middle, Austin Elite are still there.
There's Petrie. Brakely.
Work.
Esoterically physical, the man from Dartmouth and Cambridge. And a penalty, and it's awarded. Not releasing, it's going to go to the Austin Elite, Steve.
esoterically physical, he said.
He's a thinking man's brute, is what I'm saying.
Sure,
you don't see that too often.
That's a compliment of sorts.
It is.
But he is a smart man, I'll give you that.
He's a large physical man, and he's also the brightest guy in the room. And there's a kick into touch. 10-0. RUNY dominating the game in phases of it so far, but some sloppy play has kept the score from going up even more.
I think Bennett's distributing the ball well wide, but it's tending to go, it's sort of, you know, chain passing. There's no real change of angle on the run, so no real penetration. But it's back to Austin's ball, sloppy from them to Silva.
I didn't think that line out went in straight, but I'm not with the man with the whistle. There's Parry playing scrum half on the turnover. Here's St. Clair. Not a great pass, but Hume corrals it. He's got Satavu on his outside. There's a spill and a turnover. Another knock on.
Yeah, another sloppy play here. Last 5 or 6 minutes have been pretty average from both sides.
Luke Hume was not exactly agreeing with the call, but it doesn't matter.
Nothing new there.
Let's have a listen to the ref.
Up on line. Let's make sure we keep our feet up underneath us, okay? Okay.
The referee Rogan talking to White there, because that's been the source of the problem so far.
Yeah, and again, that's James Rochford playing on the other side of the scrum, playing tight head today, as Paddy Ryan is out. Ross Deakin is out. Chris Matina is out. It's a pretty long list. Cahal Marsh is out. Another conversation. Steve, how long before it's going to be a card?
Well, I think if we could hear the referee there, Rogan was just saying last warning. So White's under a little bit of pressure here. He's got to stay up. He's got to support his own weight. He's got to push straight. Otherwise, bad things could happen.
Lerone White, of course, played with the Seawolves last year. He's a University of Louisville product. And he had some time down at the Sharks Academy in South Africa, where he honed his skills. And he's going to need to call on that now. And this is not looking any better for him as the ball's put in. Silva. For a pass from his number 8. Duarte. Not much has been going on from the Elite on attack, so maybe they can get something going here. There's Larson, the Canadian. His brother Travis is on the bench. He's Canadian, raised in New Zealand, so he sounds like a Kiwi. There's Silva. Andrew Suniula with a little kick. Takes a hop back toward the Elite. They get a gratuitous bounce. There's a go-forward move, a strong one by the Elite attacking ball carrier, and it's tipped backwards. There's Breakley to get it. Well handled by Houston to avoid the knock-on, and he goes forward. Petrie hops in. Here's Will Leonard. Last week's man of the match for RUNY. Collar Wallace Sims has had a good match. Breakley again. Just trying to control the ball. Petrie maybe looking for an exit kick.
Stay behind, 10.
There's that configuration again. Gets him a little bit more distance from the defenders. Not much of a chase, but there's a knock on. Oh, tough play for Aguirre.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Austin. It was a decent kick by Petrie, but no real danger as he went to field it. Unfortunately, just knocked it on, giving New York scrum in an attacking position.
So we're about 30 minutes into this half. New York on top, 10-0. Playoff implications with every play and every point, so everything matters. And again, as we said earlier, Steve, the Austin Elite guys, they're playing for their professional lives. They're playing for their livelihoods.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's a sport. You know, it's not like soccer where you can play on the ball or perhaps basketball, slow things down. In rugby, you either go forwards or you go backwards. You either win or you lose.
Set.
Here's Petrie.
9, stay there.
Silva warned by the referee to stay where he's supposed to be. Here's Connor Wallace-Sims. St. Clair over him. Here's John Quill.
That looked a bit of a high tackle to me. I think Austin were lucky to get away with that one. The arm's going to be off the neck.
Stay there, boys.
There's Parry. Former Ohio Aviator in the previous iteration of professional rugby. There's Luke Hume dancing into space, and he just makes something out of nothing every time he gets his hands on the ball. Breakley follows that, barreling into White.
Roll.
RUNY playing with some energy.
Use it.
Going short side, Parry.
Stay on your feet, Blue. Arrive up for
Houston testing the waters. He's repelled. There's Quill again. Making good yardage. Dylan Fawcett. Always dangerous in this part of the pitch. Gets right back up again. He takes the ball again.
Keep working, boys. Keep working.
Yeah, sustained pressure here from New York, and while Austin are defending well, this takes a toll on you. To tackle after tackle after tackle. The evidence may only be seen later in the game, but they're putting the work in now, and it really is extracting a lot of energy. And it hurts.
It is, and I apologize. It was McNulty that had taken that second phase that I thought was Fawcett, but he's not all he's all over the place all the time, but not that fast.
Keep working, boys. Stay there.
There's Breakley.
Roll.
Just they need to be patient here. Phase after phase seems to be working and wearing down the Elite, but there's a good defense from Austin right there. Fangawia getting in the mix.
Stay there, White.
So at some stage here, they're going to spin it. It's going to go wider, but not quite yet.
Through the middle, play on. Stay there.
Here's Fawcett and McNulty. Off the back of the scrum.
This is really energy-sapping stuff here. Close quarter combat in the trenches. So games are won and lost.
And RUNY needs to prevail here, because if they can get this try, that would really take the wind out of the sails of the Austin Elite.
Roll 3.
And again, it's a bonus point win that they're looking for to make the playoff picture a little bit less muddled.
So there you go. That comes into their decision now, as we mentioned earlier. That's a kickable 3 points. You know, I had a coach used to say the Pope could put that over in his bedroom slippers, but New York need tries. I would imagine they're going to kick this to the corner and try and maul it in.
And yesterday you saw the Nola Gold go for posts because they knew they needed a certain amount of points, despite the fact that they were going to lose the match. They took the penalty kick.
Yes, indeed. So here we go again. New York, the little huddle right now, deciding where they're going. Thus far, they've gone to Breakley in the middle predominantly, but they've also gone to McDonald at the front. Austin have probably done their homework. That's why New York have to vary it. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Obviously, the middle of the line out, you can set up a better maul, gives you an option to go either way. But sometimes you just have to switch it up and keep a defense guessing.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. They were just trying to ram it through. And there's the line out, and it trickles into the try zone, and the Elite fall on it. And that's another turnover.
That is a missed opportunity. Once again, it looked like it was just going for McDonald. Didn't quite connect. Austin have the scrum. New York miss a chance.
You can see the front row of the Elite. A little bit out of breath right now. They've been working hard.
Yeah, as we said, a great defensive set from Austin. They withstood a lot of pressure there. Credit to them.
Now they're under pressure. See if they can get an exit forthwith.
Crouch.
Word of the day, forthwith. Silva in no rush to put the ball in, and it's a whistle.
We're not going in until we're steady, boys.
You
Don't
heard.
jump the gun, yeah?
Sounding a little raspy there,
He
Mr.
is.
Rogan. I don't know whether he's been talking a great deal or either sore throat coming into the game. He seemed in fine fettle before the match.
Pretty much been talking as much as we have.
No one talks as much as you do.
Crouch. 5.
No comment. Here's
Set.
Silva.
So here we go, Austin under the gun. Silva putting in 5 meters out from his own line. What's their exit strategy? Scrum solid enough. Number 8 pick looking for a strong carry.
And they get one. That is indeed a strong carry. Rikus Zwart, the South African. There's Bienvenu getting in the mix.
Inside.
And there's that man, Andrew Suniola, with the kick into touch as the flag goes up.
Ball was out. He took it out.
A couple of World Cups under his belt. And if you swing a cat by a tail in the American rugby landscape, you're going to hit a Suniola.
Yes, indeed. 2 other brothers playing for the Seawolves. That's Roland and Shalom. I think actually Roland's the eldest, or the elder. But Andrew's out here doing his thing. It's a sight seen on American rugby pitches for an awful long time now. He's made a great contribution to the game in this country.
He has, and they are great guys as well. Comes the line-out throw in from Fawcett, taken by Brakely. That's a familiar scene. We've seen it a lot this year. And that's why they're successful. There's St. Clair from Medford, Long Island. Luke Hume. As Steve mentioned before, caps in 7s and 15s for the country. Brakely barreling over
Off your feet now, let it go.
Ben Mitchell. There's a big run into the open for Matt Houston. He's going right at the defender. Controls the ball. Here's Bennett. Haven't seen him carry the ball much so far today. He's been distributing. There's Petrie distributing. Here goes Fawcett. Petrie again. Luke Hume in the middle. New York on attack yet again. John Quill. Austin stacking their defense.
Let it go, let it go.
And bunched. If they can spin it out wide, they've got some room. There's a little kick to try to take advantage of that. No luck. There's Suniola. He's got it, dummies, keeps it. Luke Hume, his former teammate, takes him to the ground. Austin trying to get something going, but in the meantime, they trail 10-0. About 5 minutes left in this first half. And there's
It's still going to be a penalty.
it's a knock on. They're going to go back to the penalty. There was a plea from the Austin contingency to get a deliberate knock on for that one, but that's not going to happen.
For kicking the ball out of the ruck. You can't kick it out of the ruck.
Matt Houston being told
Mike Petrie, the skipper there,
yes,
inquiring as to the exact nature of the offense, and it was kicking the ball out of the ruck.
All right, and there's the kick into touch. A rare occasion where we've seen the elite awarded a penalty and kicking it downfield.
Yep, the game has been played in their half. In many ways, 10-0 right now is a reasonable return for them. New York will probably be a little disappointed.
Yeah, it smacks of the previous matchup, which was the only matchup of these two squads down in San Antonio instead of being in Austin. And that was one of those matches where it was New York felt like they left some points on the table.
Yeah, 19-11 away victory for New York on that occasion. Back to the action. Austin moving forward.
Referee warning him to step back on defense. Suniola gets it into the hands of the captain, Ilan Puddick, who is an Eagles eligible player.
Yeah, South Africa born, Arkansas State, also played with the Blacks. He's a tricky little player. Plenty of danger from him. Gets a bit of space.
And Steve, you see on defense, New York is completely up. They're throwing the kitchen sink at the elite defensively, and the elite are not reacting. And here's another shot at a choke tackle, but he gets to the ground. but it's turned over and awarded to New York. Well done by the RUNY defense.
Yeah, well, defense is all about line speed, okay? So it's about getting in the opposition's faces. It's about putting their skills under pressure. So it's staying connected and line speed. Two things you're looking for if you're a defensive coach.
And you've coached a number of these players on this field.
Yes, indeed. Both 15s and 7s. A lot of familiar faces out there.
Let's go.
It's a small world, the rugby world. But it's a great day out here. You can see the ocean is just inviting as we're here. That's been a change. We've had some rough weather out here at the Coney.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be swimming today. A few white tops out there. The flags are fluttering. It's pretty breezy still.
Do some serious body surfing. There's some body surfing, and the whistle is blown to stop it. But there's a quick tap taken by Fawcett to Luke Hume. Luke Hume making something out of nothing again. Tries a little kick. He kicks it right into the defender's hands. Takes him down. And that might be going, oh, yeah, that's going to be a penalty. Fawcett pinged for that one, Steve.
Yeah, great skills from Hume there until the final touch when he didn't get just enough height on that kick. Here we go here. Dummy cuts inside. Distinctive shapes to kick. Doesn't get enough height on it. Has to make a tackle. One of his teammates infringes.
That was Zinzan Ilan Puttic. And there we go. Well, that's the half, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that. Do not go away. We will be right back with more Major League Rugby after this.
Really fighting to win.
I heard that finally.
No,
I haven't heard
yeah.
a lot of things prior to. I hear it's back again now.
Yeah, I do. Yes. Okay. So you want me on audio when we come back for the highlights? Yep. Yep. And you can kick in. Are you counting us back in?
I'm really struggling to hear anything.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we're having a little bit of a hard time hearing you guys, but we are picking it up. And we are not back right now, right? Hey everybody, welcome back. Steve, we are at a baseball stadium, and for rugby, this was kind of like a pitcher's duel. It's only 10-0 in favor of the home team, the Rugby United New York, but we had some pretty good action in spurts. And here's a look at some of what transpired.
Yes, indeed. Austin possession here. Looks like that was a good hit coming in. Good tackle. It's a physical game. That was Rochford, tight head prop.
Matt Houston.
Houston, as you say, good break here.
He's another player that's got a lot of energy, and he's all over the pitch. There's Harry Bennett.
First score here. Bennett moves the ball after sustained pressure through Wallace Sims' hands, out to Hume in the corner. No mistake with that.
And here's Hume again, instrumental in setting up the St. Clair try. Here's St. Clair, tipsy doing, diving and getting it in.
Yeah, I think you can see there Hume to Fawcett, and Loose Play have both been influential players. They get involved, they're busy, and they make things happen for their teammates.
Yeah, that's one thing you see about Luke Hume is he gets right up in there. Remember, next week, Rugby United New York welcomes the NOLA Gold, and that is one to look for. Sunday, 1 p.m. ESPN Plus and SNY. All right, we'll be right back. Do not go away. Hey everybody, welcome back to Coney Island, MCU Park. And we are at 10-0. Rugby United New York fighting for their playoff lives. The Austin Elite fighting for their first win. Steve, let's look at the highlights again. There was some interesting stuff that happened throughout. There's that run again by the captain, Ilan Pudek. He takes it to the turf, and it was every contact is physical.
Exactly, and a big hit here. It was Rochford coming across the tight head prop, put a big hit in. As you said before, physicality is what the game's all about. Big run here from Matt Houston. Bennett found him well on the outside. 20-25 yard gain for New York.
Right, and you know the factor here is it's a beautiful day if you're a spectator, but it's warm down on that pitch. As Luke Hume, he's not affected. He's from Australia, where it's really hot to begin with.
Yeah, so first try there, sustained pressure, and then New York moved it wide through Bennett, Wallace Sims. Second try comes here, same thing, goes wide again. Great pass from Fawcett over the top to Sinclair, who both barreled over one defender for the score.
And we'll be right. I beg your pardon, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, the finals are coming. That's what everybody is fighting for. Major League Rugby's championship, Sunday, June 16th at 4 p.m. live on CBS. It doesn't matter who wins. That's the time and the station. We'll be right back.
Austin Elite Rugby. Reminder, folks, this is the second last home game. We'll be back here next week on Sunday, 5 p.m. Bring the kids. Bring the kids' friends. Bring the kids' friends' kids. Still on for the playoffs, searching for that bonus point. Win today means 4 tries and a victory over a tough Austin.
Hey everybody, welcome back, and that is the backdrop of Coney Island, and she certainly looks spectacular today, Stephen. Whitecaps, roller coaster rides, the beach. We're going to take a look at our reserves, and it was kind of hashtag, coming in. It was a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, so for Austin on the bench, player of note is Takezawa, first Japanese player in Major League Rugby. He's a prop, he's on the bench here. For New York, obviously, the multi-talented Ben Foden is covering multiple positions today. I believe scrum half, fly half, and fullback. They've also got Chance Wengluski, a new signing, a Lindenwood player, and a Captain American prop.
Yeah, there are some good players coming off that bench as we prepare for our second half. 10-0. And it can't end this way for RUNY if they want to really make their way into the playoffs. They need more points. And I think we have an exciting second half of rugby. Some open rugby ahead of us. Both teams playing for different reasons, but absolutely in need of a win.
Yeah, 10-0 not enough for New York. They're chasing a bonus point here. They need at least 2 more tries. Their dominance thus far has merited it, but they haven't got over the line. If I was Mike Tolkien at halftime, they need to get a little bit faster ball when they go forward. It needs to be moved faster. They also need to run some straight lines, some hard unders. They need some decoys. They're a little predictable going wide.
That's right. Here is Silva and the Austin Elite on attack to get us underway. Suniola dishes it off. We haven't seen the backs, the outside backs of the Elite incorporated much today, and they're trying to do that right away. Met sharply by Harry Bennett on defense. Big barreling move forward by Austin. Silva puts it up in the air.
Yeah, once again, that kicks down the middle of the field. That gives Hume a lot of options here. He decides to kick back. Not his best kick either.
It's got to be the wind is a factor down there. You can see the American flag, Old Glory, blowing straight in. And speaking of Old Glory, they're kicking off their exhibition season. But let's get back to this action as Jerome White barrels forward. He had his hands full with James Rochford in the first half. Rochford playing tight head today instead of loose head. And there's a knock on, looks like by Suniola, and turned over to RUNY. Good defense from the Roosters.
Yes, indeed. So Austin coaches Alan Eade, the Frenchman, and Perry Vandenberg, no stranger to us, a South African legend, Springbok legend, played for Ulster, played for Denver Stampede in the first iteration of pro rugby. They got the work cut out for them. It's been a long, hard season for them. They've just got to go emphasize basics, keep the guys fighting, another 40 minutes.
Yeah, how much of a factor, Steve, because Austin has struggled this season. How much of a factor are all the different languages and international players?
Yeah, well, the coaching theory these days is cohesion, right? So you take teams and you build units around them. They've got 8 different nationalities. You've got 4 or 5 different languages here, and I think that's hurt them. Too many players from different cultures.
And they just signed a Japanese prop who was a pretty good prop in the Japan Pro League. But in the meantime, there's a knock on by John Quill. He's going to wish he had that one back. Andrew Suniola, the team manager / inside center, slapping some hands. It's always great watching the referee toe the mark or set the mark on field turf fields.
Yeah, that's I've noted that before. Scott Green's a big one for that. It's like it makes absolutely no sense or point to it whatsoever, but it obviously makes it feel good.
I got a Shark Tank idea. A little bit made a little paint that disappears after the referees.
That's not Shark Tank. That's in World Soccer.
Okay, fabulous. You can tell I don't watch any soccer because I have rugby to watch, like we have in front of us with Silva getting set to put the ball in. Takes it. Nope, it's the 8-man pickup, and it's going to be a knock on. He lost control of it, or it was knocked out of his hands. But either way, RUNY again earning a turnover.
Yes, indeed. A better scrum from Austin, and actually they worked back to the blind side. It was going on very nicely until he spilled the pill.
Yeah, you can't score a try without the ball. Well, unless it's a penalty try. Some more conversations. They're going to know each other well, the referee and the front rows of both of these squads by the end of this match, Stephen.
Yes, indeed. Never changes. It's the blight of the modern game. The amount of time that's wasted on resetting scrums.
All right, here's Mike Petrie, the Brooklyn kid. 3 World Cups After going to Xavier High School and trying to play basketball, Mike Tolkien found him, said, why don't you play rugby? And look where he is now. There's Dylan Fawcett rambling forward down the field. He's got Hume, again, Hume everywhere as the fullback. You'll often see the Luke Hume at scrum half, even though he's playing fullback. McNulty providing Petrie with some cover. Austin right up and led that charge, led by Andrew Suniola, but it looks like they are offsides, and there's a quick tap and taken. Petrie, the crafty veteran, playing the advantage. And there's a whistle, and we're going to get.
You're off. Number 7's offside event already.
There's the ruling. 7 was offside for Austin. Penalty to New York. Do you take the points or do you go to corner again, Steve?
They need the bonus point. They've got to go to the corner, but they've got to execute the line out this time.
There's the kick to the corner. I'd like to see stats on how many times teams have opted for the corner and come up with nothing. But that would be a difficult kick. So I'm not saying I'd choose to do it there, and the wind is a factor.
You're not 10 meters though.
And we've got Takizawa, the Japanese import, coming in along with Echeverria.
Yep, so there's a Uruguayan and Japanese player, both props coming into the front row. Where are we? 45 minutes in, a little early.
Time back on.
But obviously, Austin coaches will have their reasons and back their players.
Lerone White had a physical game today. He jogs off. And the lineout taken by RUNY. Here's Fawcett diving for the try. Once again, the butcher. He smells it, he goes for it, and he dots it down.
Yeah, potent attacking weapon when the lineout's accurate, right? Find the jumper, bring it down, set it up, balance. And that one was good. Fawcett went quickly.
You know, maybe they caught the subs on a little bit of a nap there, but here it is again.
There he is, just looks left, burst of speed, goes under that defender, and I think that's his 11th try of the season. He certainly knows his way to the try zone from short distances, no question about it.
Dylan Fawcett has had some path on the American rugby landscape. Life University, Ohio Aviators in the previous iteration, pro rugby. He's coached at Fordham Prep. He played for the Raptors, RUNY, Old Blue, Life University. It goes on. And he is now reaping the reward for that hard work.
Yeah, so for quite a few players in Major League Rugby, obviously, they're looking to impress Gary Gold, Greg McWilliams, the U.S. coaching staff. There's a plane going to Japan in September. They all want to be on it. From today's perspective, Fawcett is going up against Pete Malcolm, also capped. So there's a bit of bragging rights there, and they're also competing for one of those hooker spots on that plane to Japan.
And here's another look at Mr. Fawcett's try. This is where he excels. Just taking the ball and just a missile right into the try zone. No stopping that, folks. And the conversion was no good. So Bennett not having a great day off the tee, but that you could tell the ball was taken by the wind again. And here is Fawcett, our try scorer. Barreling forward on the restart.
He's outside. Stay there.
Petrie gets it out to Bennett. Here's Luke Hume.
Again, it's all a bit lateral there, right? No hard lines, no penetration.
Stay there, 12.
And there's Will Leonard. We haven't heard his name much today, and that could be possibly because his line mate
Tackle, let him go.
O'Keefe went down early at outside center.
Stay there.
So there's been a little bit of mix-up in the line for RUNY, and there's been a ton of mix-up in the Austin Elite lineup. There's Andrew Suniola with the tackle.
Yeah, that having been said, this is professional rugby, right? So they're practicing 5 days a week.
Stay there.
Should be able to make adjustments.
Well, when you sign a guy from Japan and he's in the lineup 3 days later, I mean, that's not going to give you continuity. And you've got some faces that are brand new on both sides. But RUNY's been able to integrate their guys in a little bit more steadily.
Yeah, talking about that, a lot of activity on the RUNY bench there. Players warming up. Looks like they perhaps might be making a few subs of their own.
Here's Malcolm to Mitchell. Silva. Nice pass back inside from Suniula. Silva collects it again. Austin suddenly with a little bit of pressure. Some forward progress. We haven't seen that specifically in the RUNY end yet today.
Roll 8.
There's Takizawa. Suniula. And he is repelled
Stay there, boys. Stay there.
by a staunch RUNY defense. Takizawa again, number 18. I like the hair, Steve.
You would.
Is that your color commentary on that? There's Ben Mitchell slamming forward and getting smashed back by Alex McDonald. Big Mac. John Quill again. You know, RUNY's trying to get these choke tackles. That one didn't work out. But it seems like something they've worked on. There's Elon Puddock.
Playing your advantage, White.
And they're playing in the advantage.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep
Austin
going.
on the front foot. Here goes Mitchell, the Irishman. 6'7" of him. Malcolm.
Step back.
Suniula trying to get it outside. They're trying to go wide. There's Will Leonard getting involved, and there's a whistle. And it's going to come back.
Offside, mate. There's a number of you guys offside.
And it's not just one infraction. He says there's a number of you offside. So forget arguing that one.
You can't crawl, keep going through that area. You had an opportunity to go out the other side. Yeah.
All right, so if you're Austin right here,
10.
you going for the corner? You taking points?
I would say so. I mean, their lineout's been reasonably accurate. Mitchell's a big lad, and Peter Malcolm's been finding him most of the day.
And indeed, they do go for the corner.
Make sure we.
About 51 minutes gone in this match. And again, the implications here are serious. You need points if you are RUNY. You need a win if you are the Elite. Let's see if they can turn the ball over, and they do. The ball goes right into the hands of Rochford, and you got to imagine that was a miscommunication, perhaps with all the different new faces for Austin in different languages. Brakely. There's number 11.
Tackle.
Fangawia. Silva. Suniula goes wide with it. And it's a bad pass, and just again, as they had some momentum, they throw it away. Ball picked up by RUNY.
He's in front of the mark, guys.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some action on the subs bench for New York. Let's see who's coming in. What Mike Tolkien has decided to do, freshen things up.
Yeah, you've got Wengeleski coming in on loan from the ATL Atlanta MLR franchise. John Quill coming out, doesn't look happy about it. Anthony Parry coming out as well. And that's also going to be Kyle Sumption,
Right, let's go.
the West Point legend, coming in as well.
Time back on. Cross forward. He's tackled there. You can't get back up again.
And
without
Steve, off that
placing.
line out here, you know, just the implications here. RUNY needs to score another try. Otherwise, they'll be tied with Toronto for
Cross
fourth,
forward.
if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. They need to nudge into fourth place.
It's not going to change.
Obviously, they have a fixture. Actually, it's the final fixture for both sides in Toronto.
It's on the 15th, boys.
The fact of the matter is, you know, New York have 3 left, including this one. They win all 3, they're through. If they only win 2 of the 3, they need help from somewhere else.
Yeah, and you know what? You have to tip your cap to Austin, because they have hung tough in this match. This could easily have been a 35-0 match at this point. They've played hard, physical rugby, physically in contact area the entire game. And it's only a 15-point match right now, and there's plenty of rugby left.
Yeah, as we mentioned, one of the keys to the game, you know, playing for professional pride. So, yes, they're playing for pride, and as we said before, some of them are playing for livelihoods. Some of them are playing for contracts next year. They're still going to put their best foot forward, compete.
Longer bind for me, longer bind.
All right, here's our put in. Silva. The steadying influence of Mike Petrie. Telling guys what to do there, and you need that guy out there right now. But you have his substitute, a capped English scrum half named Ben Foden, waiting in the wings if need be.
Ball's out, high on.
There's a big pickup by Zwart. Barreling forward, the South African. Silva getting into Ben Mitchell. Again, the Elite on attack. Malcolm into Nate Brakely. Takizawa helps out. The Elite putting pressure on New York.
Let him go. Wait.
McNulty. Here goes Larson. Inching forward.
For me.
And suddenly, just like that, as soon as we say it, that they have some kind of momentum going, they knock it on.
So if they get this wide early, there's danger here for New York. That goes left now. One more pass.
Wallace Sims with an attempt at a kick, and that's going to come back to the original mark of the knock-on, Steve.
Indeed it is. Wasted opportunity.
It's not advantage over because we're coming back.
All right, here you go, Steve. Why don't you walk us through this?
Yeah, St. Clair moves to Wallace Sims. He looks to chip his man. He's probably a little too close to try and get that over him. So a poor choice.
Fangawi are right there in his face on defense.
You need to stay straight. You need to stay straight, and I'll get him to stay straight.
So we've got Chance Wangluski, Lindenwood. Thanks to James Walker and co. for loaning him to RUNY.
Stay straight.
From the Atlanta Major League franchise.
Yeah, it's in everyone's interest that players get games. So obviously Atlanta not coming into the league until next year. Doesn't do any harm. Wangluski getting a taste of Major League Rugby action with someone else.
Getting a taste of action today now is Chris Sullivan as he comes in for James Jack Rochford, who had a nice day at tight head prop. He gets a well-deserved rest.
Straight in.
And maybe some fresh legs will get RUNY some more points because they definitely need them.
Yeah, edge of area there, classic prop pose, protesting innocence.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
With 4 new props on the field, though, so things can change. New York have had the edge for most of the game, but as we said, 4 new props.
Be straight in. You.
And just like that, we have another substitution.
To push against. Your
Number 16 coming in. I'm sorry, that's a RUNY substitution.
That's Callum McIntosh, the Scotsman.
It looks like
in for Sean McNulty.
So McIntosh, his first start with Rugby United New York. Exits.
Time's off, guys.
And as you said, your fellow Scott.
McNulty
I'm sorry,
exits,
McNulty, yes, I beg your pardon. And your fellow Scott takes his place. I beg your pardon. And there goes Josh Larson.
Yeah, all right.
His brother Travis is a hair shorter than he is. 6'5" and 6'3" respectively.
So New York switching up, 5-man line out. They're looking for McDonald. Ball bobbles around. Austin have it.
Yeah, that was not what you wanted to do with the ball there. You needed to control the ball and move it downfield. Here's Takizawa, who's had some impact coming in so far.
Yeah, he's been busy. He's been busy, but it's a New York turnover.
And just like that, again, anytime Austin has something positive happen, it's a fundamental error and usually unforced. And here's Petrie. Wangluski, I beg your pardon. Harry Bennett. And here's Will Leonard. Back to Bennett. Bobbled. And taken into touch.
Yeah, a bit of a lull in the game here. Some elementary errors. Both sides. Knock-ons, inaccurate passes. Certainly, you see Emilio Luciano's flag there. I mean, you can't tell from here, but perhaps the wind is a factor in some of these basic errors.
speed that up for me, yeah?
There is no way referee Rogan's voice is lasting this game.
He also sounds like Luke Hume. For the folks at home that don't know Luke Hume. Anyway, there's the line out taken by the Elite.
Again, he's tackled. You can't get back up without placing it, but it's been lost forward.
You heard the explanation. That's the cool thing about rugby. We have the referee mic'd, so folks at home listening in for the first time can get an inkling of what's going on if they don't know already. And there's that mark set, and it'll be a scrum down.
Right, he's got no options but to go in if you go in straight away.
To the Elite. The Elite in light blue and white shorts. RUNY in the dark blue. Orange lettering and numbers. Rugby United New York fighting for their playoff lives. On top 15-0, but they need more points. Austin trying to get their first win. So both teams with no quit in them for this final period of rugby. And there's a quick tap taken by the Elite. There's the big South African Zwart.
No eights, no eights.
Pardon for the language. Here goes Ben Mitchell. And suddenly the Elite again with another spurt. Another burst of energy. Attempted a rip tackle by Nate Brakely.
No five, stay there. Let it come out.
Oh, and there goes down goes number 10 for the Elite. We'll have to check on that. In the meantime, Luke Hume corrals the ball carrier, gets knocked down.
Lost forward in the tackle, lost forward.
Lost in the tackle, and they're going to play the advantage. And it's going to go to New York, Steve.
Yeah, I think referee Rogan blowing it up there. The injured player on the ground. Play was coming dangerously close towards him. Normally play doesn't stop. But safety first, player welfare first.
Yeah, and there's going to be another substitution. And we're going to take that time for a quick break. Do not go away. We're coming right back with some more action after this. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Major League Rugby tilt between Rugby United New York, the home team, and the visiting Austin Elite. We've got some more substitutions for you as Aguirre goes out with what appears to be an ankle or a calf injury, and in comes some more substitutions for Rugby United New York as well. We'll catch up to those as we get them. But I know for a fact that Nate Brakely has checked out after a long day. He's earned his rest on the bench, and replacing him is Matt Workin.
And you also have a change at fullback. We've got former England, Northampton legend Ben Foden on for Luke Hume.
And again, Ben Foden is now the backup scrum half today because Marcus Walsh was unavailable. There's the put in by Silva.
A tremendous scrum from New York. Tremendous scrum.
Yeah, well done.
In fact, almost too good for their own good. Ball came out, no one really reacted.
Yeah, I think they surprised themselves and didn't react in time, as you say, and the ball became available. Nobody picked it up, and it's turned right back to Austin Elite. That could be a pivotal play in this match. You know, right out of the break.
Time's off. Time's off.
And there's a timeout to address.
Just let me know so I don't.
I think that's That's not. No, the numbers are not coinciding with what we have. I beg your pardon, folks. All right, here we go. Just about 20 minutes left in this one, Steve, and RUNY really needs some points. We keep saying it because it's important. The top of the table throughout the playoffs, everything, it's all about points.
Crouch.
You can see Mike Petrie working hard, breathing heavily.
Yeah, and he'll breathe heavier with Foden on at fullback. He's not getting replaced anytime soon, so Mike has to go the distance, which he's very capable of doing. Another great scrum from New York. Look at that. Marching them back.
Yeah,
that was a statement. That was a real statement there.
You know, those are the fresh legs coming in there, and there's a quick tap, but it was not at the mark.
Right, this is where steady heads need to prevail. You've got 19, 18 minutes left. You need one score for the bonus point. You've had success with a line out. Go back to what works. Get that bonus point in the bag, then you can play with a bit more abandon. You can throw the ball around. But right now, they need the bonus point.
Right, and there's Bennett drilling it into touch, and that was a pretty good kick from Harry Bennett, moving the ball downfield into, or just about into, Austin Elite zone. Yeah, they're just going to be inside their 22. So here's a big opportunity, and you don't want to squander it.
That's right, but we've had some changes, remember? Multiple changes up front, both in jumpers and lifters.
I will say, though, that being around the RUNY guys at training, their subs are quality subs. It's just a matter of familiarity. And there's a line out taken nicely by Sumption.
RUNY got to be careful here. They've got to work back in field. Keep the ball alive.
And they do just that. There's Bennett taking the ball to the turf. Now a little counterattack coming into the line by the defense. And they earn the turnover and a penalty.
Yeah, that's a danger when you go fast. Sometimes you get isolated. That was Cal Sumption coming around the corner. It was a good carry, but he didn't have a teammate near enough, and Austin right over the ball.
And right in the middle of that, Andrew Suniula. Silva does get it into touch, just. So it'll be a line out. You know, it's a game where the momentum seems to be shifting for a team, and then suddenly it's taken away by a fundamental error.
Yeah, it's not been a classic, that's for sure. But this time of the season, you know, players get nervous, coaches get nervous, referees get nervous. It doesn't always make for the prettiest of rugby, but they need to grind it out today.
I think that's Travis Larson, I believe, is wearing number 20. I got to check that, but he doesn't seem to be nervous. He was just shoving one of the RUNY players in the lineout. The Larson brothers, of course, Canadian-born, but grew up in New Zealand, but qualify for Canada. Here's Malcolm with the throw-in. And all of a sudden, Austin trying to get something going and on attack. Little dummy. And there's Larson. Silva. Again, we mentioned he's not afraid to take it into contact, but that was ill-advised, and the ball was stripped by Nate Brakely. Is it a knock-on? No, it's not. Here's St. Clair. Nice little move. He's got some wheels. Oh, just taken down by his cleats. There's Ben Foden getting into the mix for the first time today. Nice substitution to have somebody like that coming off the bench. RUNY suddenly finding some space and driving forward.
Let him go.
Into elite territory. Petrie looks one way, goes the other. Matt Houston with a dummy. A nice feed inside to Connor Wallace-Sims, and he's in for the try. Great try, great look, and a team effort, Steve.
That's more like it from New York. Moving the ball left there. Some good play from multiple players. As you say, a good team try. Connor Wallace-Sims on the end of it.
And more importantly, that important fourth try. And here's our replay, Steve.
Here it is. Matt Houston sells a big dummy there. Goes up the middle and a clever inside pass to Wallace-Sims for the finish. With some good hands just prior to that too. As you say, though, that try is more important than looks. It's the elusive bonus point. New York can take 5 out of this now if they stay in the lead. Very important.
Huge try there, Steve. And your Old Blue contingent has their hands all over the try so far today, so I know you'll be smiling later.
That's right, all 4 tries scored by former Old Blue players.
Now, I'm just doing the math, but are they tied with Toronto right now, or?
They would be 1 ahead of Toronto if the score remains the same.
Right, so if Bennett makes this, they're a point ahead of Toronto.
They're already a point ahead.
Never mind.
It's the 4 tries that count. So Harry Bennett, I've got to say, I've seen him play a lot of rugby, and he is a good player, and he is a good kicker, but an off day with the tee today, 0 for 4 in these conversions. Tricky conditions, but he'll be a little disappointed with himself. So it is. Sinclair picks it up. He also shows a dummy. Austin defenders falling for that too easily, but he's tracked down from behind. And again, look at the try again. Houston, nice break, nice dummy into Wallace Sims. They're not catching him.
Yeah, Mike St. Clair has had a nice season for Rugby United New York, surprising a lot of people, but not us. We've seen him play. But in the meantime, his team takes the restart, trying to get more.
He won the ball.
And they've lost the ball. Right there, the Elite steal it and are on attack. Just like that, you know, they don't give up. And every time something happens, the other team does it back. There's Fawcett in on the tackle. There's Joat, the French Moroccan, in for the first time, wearing the red, white, and blue scrum cap. And there's a whistle.
Little knock on there, boys.
Some sloppy play and a knock on by New York, and it's going to be Austin ball. So he'll Joat in. We'll try to see what other substitutions they're trying to sneak by us, Steve. We are paying attention.
We are indeed. All these distractions. Amusement fairs, the beach, the crowd.
But it's that age-old conspiracy of coaches against guys in the booth, you know? Or at least that's in my head. But here's Silva. He's had an active day. He's had to make a lot of tackles as well, as the ball's remaining tight for considerable periods of time. And now the clock becomes a factor. There's Larson taking it into contact.
Yeah, he's fine, he's moved.
Almost knocked on, but well held by the Elite, and they still have possession. Silva testing the waters. Fawcett there. So is Petrie. Those two don't have a motor that turns off at all. They are always on.
No.
There's a kick into space. I'm not crazy about that. St. Clair corrals it, and Ben Foden on attack. He gets the ball into the hands of Will Leonard. Steve, they just kicked the ball away. They kicked possession away. Mangluski. Petrie giving it to Brakely. Presents it. Petrie telling guys where to go. There's Workin. Solid player.
Come back 20.
Bachelor's in Spanish.
Use it.
McIntosh. Now Petrie getting a little bit more room from Brakely, using those long legs to buy him some time. Fangawiya receiving the ball well. Silva. Not crazy about that kick either, Steve.
Yeah, actually wasn't a bad kick. I'm a little perplexed at Connor Wallace-Sims there. I've seen it a couple of times now. You either challenge for the kick or you time it so you make a pretty impactful tackle. I don't feel he put enough pressure on the receiver there.
Yeah, you had a prop bursting into open space there, and for a reason. There was a whistle. So,
if it looks too good to be true, it is.
Yeah, and the red cap, you know, They're going to see you. That's the only reason, just because of the red cap. Here's a great shot of the faces up front. The men that practice the dark arts. Here's Petrie. Mike Petrie, a guy that thought he was retired from rugby. How many minutes has he logged this season with a full-time job and 2 kids? As the captain, no less.
Yeah, indeed. Fantastic contribution from Mike Petrie. As you mentioned before, local boy, Brooklyn native, played for New York Athletic Club for many years. Played with great distinction for them and for his country. Captain the Eagles. And 3 World Cups, did you mention?
3 World Cups. Who knew?
6.
As he said, I was just a skinny kid in a basketball gym at Xavier. Anyway, there's a wheel and a mess and a whistle and a penalty.
Just pulling back in the end.
And a quick tap taken by Ben Mitchell, 6'7" of him, to his French-Moroccan teammate, Jodat, in the Old Glory scrum cap. And again, looking forward to that Old Glory exhibition season kicking off today. Major League Rugby in the DC area. In the meantime, Austin Elite, and it's another knock-on.
Well, it's been the story of their day, really. Flashes of promise, some good rugby, and have let themselves down a little bit with the final pass and occasional handling errors.
And you know what? If you're a New York fan, you'll take it every time. All right. Right now, we're looking at potentially the 3rd shutout of the Major League Rugby season. All right, here's a replay, Steve. Here's they're bursting down the outside, and you can't score without the ball.
Yeah, actually, the pass wasn't that bad there.
No.
Should have held on to that one.
That was Reese Zarnecki
Okay,
dropping the ball.
time back on. Push them back, Mo.
Yeah, so about that time of the game, we just need to start thinking about man of the match. Matthew?
Yes, indeed.
MOM, that's what that stands for. As I scribble it in front of us.
Acronyms between broadcast buddies. Anyway, here's Abdemonum blasting forward. He's a Canadian off the bench. Ben Mitchell leaning forward, the long lad. Oh, there's a bruising run from Ronan McCusker on loan from the Free Jacks of New England, another MLR franchise we're looking forward to seeing. And there's a big bounce and a knock, saying backwards. This is Andrew Suniula going in for a try, and yes, indeed. How about that? Andrew Suniula, the team manager, with a try.
Everything comes to he who waits. Now, for a man who wasn't supposed to be starting this game, you know, and a veteran, he gets his just reward.
Here it is. Here's history, ladies and gentlemen.
Ball squeaks out. Mitchell draws the attention of a couple of New York defenders, and it opens up like the Red Sea in front of Andrew. He goes through, and that a late flourish from Austin, a late flourish from Andrew Suniula.
Oh, you gotta love that. You gotta love that. 37 years young, and ladies and gentlemen, this man has toiled in the rugby landscape globally and in America. Kudos, Andrew. Good for you, my friend. All right, in the meantime, back to our action.
Yeah, 20 points to 7. Conversion was good there. New York to kick off. 13-point deficit, 6 minutes.
Here's that conversion of Mr. Suniula's try, and it's perfect. Wow. So fill us in the mathematically challenged, Steve. Does this have any impact, that score?
Not for New York. I mean, as long as they win, they've scored the 4 tries, they get 5 points. For Austin, you know, they get it within 7. They'll pick up a bonus point. But really for them right now, they got to throw everything at this. They got 5-6 minutes. They need 2 scores. Not impossible.
Let him go! 12.
There's Tien Strauss Erasmus, Steve.
It is not going to be possible with continued handling errors. And there we get another Austin unforced error.
Tien Strauss Erasmus bursting, you know, with the ball twice now with that red cap. But Tien Strauss, the rugby player?
Well, he's a famous former Springbok, yes.
Yeah, so we did chat with Mr. Erasmus, and he was indeed named after him.
Ah, as we guessed.
Yes,
As we guessed.
you guessed. I just come along for the ride. But yeah, that's pretty cool. You're being named after a rugby player. You got a lot of that now these days, and we're going to have that on the American landscape, hopefully not before long. Guys like Mike Petrie with 2 kids. He's not going to name his daughters after a rugby player, though. There's the ball at the back of the scrum.
He might. Nia
Well,
Tapper.
not a male.
Aleph Kelter.
Yes. That's not, yes, I said corrected. In the meantime, there's another counterattack. And Rugby United New York looking for more. Petrie, a little sloppy play. Ball bounces away just out of the hands of that kid from England, Ben Foden. No, I beg your pardon.
Quentin Pregame,
Yes.
I believe it was. A penalty to New York here. At this stage of the proceedings, I'd shut this thing down, take the 3 points. Mission accomplished.
They don't often do it. It's the Rooster way. And they're going to do it this time. Oh. Wallace Sims. So, Steve, while we have this little delay, how about our man of the match?
Yes, indeed. I think a couple of candidates for New York who've both been busy. Both got on the score sheet. Fawcett and Hume. I'd probably say Hume's contribution slightly more significant today. He was very, very busy in that first 60 minutes. Great play by Fawcett as well, but I'm going to vote for Hume.
All right, I'd never want to rule against Dylan because I have to face him, you know, after the game. But he was great again. But why not spread the love a little bit? I'll go with Hume, and he can. As we watch the uprights reject the conversion attempt and a whistle.
Yeah, penalty attempt. You're right. Dinged the left-hand post.
Penalty, I'm sorry, yes.
That was a bit of a gimme there. Another lost opportunity.
Here's a replay of the clank. Here you go. And I'm sure Connor will be blaming that on his holder, Ben Foden.
Possibly. I mean, it's first kick of the day, but still within range. He's a good kicker. He'll be disappointed in that one.
But anyway, we'll have the Aussie Luke Hume as man of the match, and he'll be most likely interviewed by a fellow Aussie, Kim Howlett, on the field after the match. But in the meantime, we have more rugby to play before we have that final horn. Austin not letting up. There's the captain, Len Puttick, dancing and hit hard by Ben Foden, drilled to the turf by the 34-time capped English player and Northampton Saint. And there's a, thought he got away with it. I thought he just used his feet on that one, Steve. I'm not sure I agree on the knock-on call against Connor Wallace-Sims.
Yeah, on first look, that was my that was my impression as well. But we're going to get a second look here.
All right, there's the big hit from Foden. Whoa. You don't play professional rugby and not tackle. And that's a great example of it right there.
You don't play professional rugby for long and not tackle.
Yes, good point, good point.
Well. Fine.
Here's Silva.
Set.
Uruguayan putting the ball in. Give a shout out to the Carrasco Polo Club where he played.
Let it go.
He was also in the 2015 Rugby World Cup, all 4 matches for his Los Teros.
Turnover's good.
And there's the turnover into the hands of your man.
Quentin Pregame. Ball moves right. Foden chips through. Wallace-Sims. This is just a chase for the line here. He claims it. Great play by him. Ball goes to the right again. Will Leonard got a lot of work to do.
Jodat picks it up, but he came offside, and it's going to be a penalty. You're not going to blend in when you're wearing a red, white, and blue scrum half. Makes it easy for the referee. It's almost as like Erasmus's red one. But in the meantime, Rugby United New York looking for more. There's Fawcett. This is his area of the field. He knows the try line. There's Petrie diving forward in the local product. Did he get it in? Yes, he did. Mike Petrie, Brooklyn's own, with a try.
Yeah, indeed. Just a result of some goal line pressure there in the waning minutes. In fact, we're in overtime or extra time. And New York get a 5th try. Good for points differential, but irrelevant as regards bonus points. They already had that in the bag.
Well, don't tell Mike Petrie that try was irrelevant, because that's anytime you score. I'm just kidding, my friend, but you know, anytime you score, here it is again, especially if you're this guy. Would never imagined that he'd be in this situation again after he retired from the World Cup. There he is, dotting it down, and there'll be some smiles later.
Just a savvy player. I mean, he's looking where the pillars are, where the guards are defensively. Sees a little space in front of him. Plops it on the line. Just been an old-timers convention today. Petrie and Sunil are getting on the score sheet.
You know, that's why we play the games, right? You never know what you're going to see. There's a line drive. Line drive trickles through the uprights and for extra bases into the outfield, and just like that, we are done. Rugby United New York did what they had to do, Steve.
Yes, indeed, 27-7. Mission accomplished, bonus point, 5 points. They move into 4th place.
Yeah, there's the handshake, the best part of rugby. That's just not like the hockey playoffs, where it's just then, it's every game. And you go head to head, you batter each other, you shake hands, and then you go out afterwards and have a meal. It's a special sport, ladies and gentlemen. We're glad you were joining us, but we've got more coming ahead right now. We've got our man of the match. That'll be with Kim Ost-Howlett. But there were some good performances on both sides of the ball. I was really surprised that Takizawa came in and did so well. He just flew in. The guy's got to be jet lagged from Japan.
Yeah, he did. He was busy. Hit some carries. Good to get some minutes under his belt. But over to you on the.
All right, we are just about to break and come back, but make sure you tune in to CBS on Sunday, June 16th for the Major League Rugby Championship, and don't go away. We'll be right back. Today's Major League Rugby.
Another reminder, folks, after the match, please join Rugby United New York and Austin Elite Rugby. Players, coaches, and staff will all be headed to Kitchen 21 for the after-match food store. Kitchen 21 is just south of MCU Park on the Pregame. 3-minute, 4-minute walk and max. Lots of nice space. Plenty of cold drinks and warm food. Good company. Rugby United New York welcomes you and all your guests to Kitchen 21. Also want to remind everyone, next week, the final home game for Rugby United New York's inaugural season will be right here at MCU Park against New Orleans Gold.
Today's Major League Rugby match is brought to you by MVP Index. The future of audience measurement is here. Value sponsorship, activate audiences, drive revenue. And by Sought and Found Mercantile. Create a space you love. Also brought to you by Eden Park, partners in elegance of Austin Elite Rugby. Hey everybody, welcome back to MCU Park, Coney Island in Brooklyn. Stephen, a 27-7 final. New York's Rugby United New York Roosters beating the Austin Elite.
Yes, indeed. And as we said, I think before, mission accomplished is probably the best way to sum this up. That wasn't a classic. It wasn't a pretty game of rugby. They needed 4 tries in the win. They got 4 tries in the win. For Austin, another tough game on the road in what's a tough season.
Yeah, it was, doing what they had to do, but let's go down to, I'm sorry. Okay, man of the match, Luke Hume. It was a tough call. Dylan Fawcett all over the pitch, Nate Brakeley all over the pitch. And, you could see all these guys worked hard. It was a frustrating match for a lot of them.
So here is Hume coming to his pitch. A relatively easy finish for him, actually. The work was done inside him. All he had to do was hold on and dot down, which he did. Another great break from him here. Well, that's the same break, actually. But he was a busy man all day long, showing off his stuff.
Yeah, and that, he's wearing number 15, playing fullback, getting the nod there today, but he's in the mix everywhere. He does all the little things that don't show up in the box score, as we say in baseball. All right, let's go down to Mr. Hume with his fellow Aussie Kim Aust-Howlett as man of the match now.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I'm here with the man of the match, Luke Hume. Congratulations on the win, a very, very important bonus win. Tell us a little bit about the game.
Yeah, it was a good game. To be quite honest, I think Austin put in a good shift too. So, but credit to the boys. Obviously, 27-7 with a bonus point win. I believe that puts us in 4th place after the results yesterday. So we're still in the playoff hunt. But yeah, we still got a few more weeks to go.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Back to you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Luke. Congratulations on an award well earned. But again, it was an up and down day. We have a roller coaster, so this game was a bit of like a roller coaster ride. You had stops and starts. You had teams with momentum throw it away on an unforced error here and there. But it's Major League Rugby. It's professional rugby, and here's what we saw, parts of it anyway. Coming up on the screen in a second, but here you go.
Yeah, first try again. Bennett out the back, Connor Wallace-Sims, good pass to Hume in the corner. No drama there.
Yeah, the bald eagle, as they call him.
Second one, a little bit better. Hume making a breach up the middle. Fawcett is the link. Smart pass from him to the wing. Sinclair, bit of work to do to finish it, but he did.
Yeah,
good style.
St. Clair's a bigger guy than you think, too. I mean, he's built well. He's built low to the ground, but like a freight train. But there's Dylan Fawcett, the butcher, in his familiar turf, the tri-zone.
That's it. Dangerous man, 5 yards out. He's got a nose for the line. 11 tries on the year. This was the pick of the day. How good was that from Matt Houston? Showing a dummy. Great stuff from a flanker. And the smarts to pass inside to Connor Wallace-Sims for the try. Final try coming from the savvy veteran Mike Petrie, Brooklyn boy, from all of 2 inches by the look of it.
Right, and there was the Frenchman was on there at defense, Bienvenu, and Mike just welcomed him to Brooklyn with that try.
So here we are, updated standings, and as we said, Rugby United moving into 4th place now, a point ahead of the Toronto Arrows, so they're in that 4th playoff spot. But with 2 games to play for each of these teams, this is getting very, very tense.
Yeah, 2 games left in the regular season, and every single one of them is going to have an impact on the final point totals. It's just you couldn't, if you're a Major League Rugby owner, you couldn't be happier if you're in one of the top 6 teams, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you're involved with the league, it's a terrific finish to the season.
And part of that is going to be next Sunday, 1 p.m. on ESPN and SNY. Rugby United New York right here hosting the New Orleans NOLA Gold, who are in 2nd place right now. And our final, 27-7. A memorable day in New York Rugby Club history, or New York Rugby United history, I should say. It's not club rugby, it's professional rugby. Luke Hume again. Yes, we are.